Hey, what's up everybody? The Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of Rise of the Witch King patch 2.02, version 5.0.1. Today we have a 1v1 on Dwarves of Isen II. We're going to take a gander at this game and see what's going on. So, the players today, we have BraBox as Isengard, or BraBox, still don't know. And he's in the bottom right. His opponent is J.J.R, which I believe is J.J. Rambo, if I'm not mistaken, as the Dwarves in the top left. So we got Dwarves versus Isengard on Dwarves of Isen II. Looks like JJ is opening up with a mineshaft in a Hall of Warriors pretty much immediately. And of course he's got it queued up right away to set troops right in front of his mineshaft so he can put them right into the mine. I'd imagine he'll do a forward mine thing with that, as you expect pretty much any dwarf to. And it looks like BraBox going for a Uruk pit here, after getting 2 furnaces first though, and a 3rd furnace actually. So he'll be a little bit slower on the troop production than the dwarves. But of course the dwarves do have to actually go across the map. So he does that. Let me try that again. He has that to his advantage. Of course he does have to worry about this mineshaft, which is right in the middle of the forwards, right in front of his base. He of course found it with his builder. Always good to scout with your builder if you know your opponents is dwarves. He even threw water on it. Fantastic. No one ever uses the throw water. Extinguish fire. Of course, not very useful most of the time, but if there's a raging fire, of course, or somebody's having some sort of water party, maybe. Dwarves throwing down their rally call on their troops, going into aggressive to destroy that furnace very quickly. Of course, BraBox does cancel it, as he has no chance of saving it. His first battalion of men are actually just now getting on the field. And of course he's going to want to... Well, I mean, he really should... He does have to destroy this, but at the same time he has to stop the dwarves that are attacking these furnaces, so... He has to choose. He has Rally War Chant probably... No, he's going for Creebane instead of the War Chant. I'm not sure which is better, to be perfectly honest. I guess either one really works. Creebane's nice though, because you can scout with it and you can move it around. Looks like JJ is going to creep the troll layer down the south. He's built a mine shaft here as well. And he's beginning to kill this cave troll with his phalanxes. Doing quite well. He's taking a few casualties, but nothing too big, and now he'll be able to destroy the cave troll layer, which yields him pretty good amount of gold. Of course, he's going to capture the inn first, so he can start getting hobbits on the field, which are pretty useful. BraBox put some crossbows in front of this mine just to attack anything that gets put out there. Good idea. There's Golem. I don't know if he'll be in play in this game or not, but I guess we'll find out. Dwarf could pop out. Yep, he could pop out right here and attack this furnace pretty easily. And then as soon as BraBox either destroys it, which looks like what he's done, he can go right back into his mine shaft, pop out somewhere else. And that really is the strength of the dwarves, their mobility to travel across the map with very strong armies. A very nice thing to have. And if you don't utilize that, their strength, then they can be a bit of a pain to play sometimes because of their speed of their troops. But if you utilize their mine shafts, build forward mines all the time, keep them keep expanding your mines. Of course, that's your economy as well, so really there's no downside to building mines everywhere. You'll be able to have great map coverage, great mobility, and great economy. Which is all around a nice thing to have. Looks like JJ is going for his wargs now. He does have some phalanxes and some guardians. Is this 2 battalions or is it just 1? I think it's 2, like right on top of each other. Nope, it's just 1. I lied, it is 2. And he also has some hobbits, who of course, when set in throw rock mode, are pretty destructive. They kill units very quickly. So hobbits are always a choice thing to get as the dwarves and elves. In patch 2.02 at least. Looks like dwarves got more guys ready to go in the mine. And BraBox sending more guys up to the top. I'm gonna try and possibly harass some farms up north, which he really does need to do. He hasn't really been on the offensive in this game much, as the dwarves have been pretty open about their attack. Building a mine right in front of his base, of course. And of course, he knows there's hobbits and mines over here now. BraBox does, so he knows J.J.R's army will be coming from that area. He is got a pretty good army though. BraBox has crossbows and Uruk-hai warriors. Just Uruk-hai really. I add the warriors, but that's what they are. Uruk-hai. They are pretty good. Looks like J.J.R. possibly going to go for axe throwers or Men of Dale potentially. Men of Dale, of course, maybe not right away. This is a bit later game, but doesn't mean it's out of the question. Dwarves throwing down rally call on all his army. The hobbits are being slaughtered, but he did take down an Uruk pit, and he might get the second one as well as getting his furnace. So BraBox really not doing so well. Things are... he's building... Jesus, I'm having trouble with words. His base is taking a lot of damage. That's what I'm trying to get out here. So he does need to kill these off fairly quickly to negate any more losses. He doesn't want to lose this Uruk pit, as you might imagine. That will set back BraBox a bit. He does manage to pick off those dwarves, which is good. BraBox does have more guys down here, but not really a threatening force. A couple phalanxes. Oh, it's not even a couple, it's one battalion of phalanxes at level 2. And some hobbits, which really won't do much. Hobbits don't have targeting rocks, so the rocks are set to a trajectory. Once they throw them, they will hit wherever they originally were going to go. Kind of like a catapult. Unlike a fire arrow, which will kind of target a unit and follow it around or something. Not even a fire arrow, just arrow in general. Or throwing axes, you see, they follow the targets. As long as they were targeted. That's how that works, of course. BraBox gonna get this mine shaft from JJ. That'd be a nice pickup there. This picture looks like that guy from Game of Thrones. What's his name? I forget. He's the bastard son of Rose Bolton. Forget his name. Something Bolton. Anyway, that's way off topic. Let's take a look down here. BraBox's army is pretty big. He's got lots of crossbows. Dwarves might potentially want to invest in a battle wagon or two. That might be what he's doing here. Yes, definitely. Forge work's definitely the right choice here. I think battle wagons will be absolutely amazing. As all he has is Uruk-hai and crossbows, which isn't going to do very well against the pikes. Or without pikes. He's getting some pikemen though. So hopefully that helps out. Meanwhile, J.J. Rambo is coming in with more ripped and roaring dwarves ready for battle. Potentially going to take out this Uruk pit once again. Looks like BraBox just decides to cancel it because he knew he couldn't save it. He does have War Chant though, throwing it down on most of his army. So he should be able to chase off the dwarves, I think, here. There's a bear. Just because. JJ just take out that furnace. That's a nice pickup there. That'll be useful. Keeping the economy of your enemy low, of course, is always a good idea. Looks like BraBox potentially... No? If I was him, I probably would have targeted down this. He doesn't really want battle wagons out in the field, but he's deciding to not attack it. He might not have had the strength to actually destroy it before getting killed off, though. So maybe he made the right decision. I can't say for sure. Looks like JJ's army is killed off here. So BraBox will be safe for now. He does have some lumber mill. Well, a lumber mill to help supplement his economy a bit. He's also building furnaces up north. He's not doing too bad in the economy sector. Let's take a look at PowerPoints and economy real quick. Well, not too much is happening. J.J.R. has Rally Call, of course, 8 PowerPoints and 525 command point limit. And he's got 316 of that. We have 497 of 625 for BraBox, and he has War Chant, Cremain, and 7 PowerPoints. So he's actually doing better, I'd say, overall. You know, it kind of seems like he isn't, in a way. But I'd say he is definitely now. His army's definitely stronger than the Dwarven army. So he should be just fine, as long as he keeps some pikes with him. I think he did lose his, either he sent his pikemen out somewhere, or he lost the building before they finished. He did get alerts out though, so that's a good sign, which will be quite useful here. There's a battle wagon on the field, I believe, somewhere. There it is. And I'm sure he's seen this. So BraBox will probably build some pikes, I'd imagine, very, very shortly. There they are. You'll need to get them to his army post-haste, because you do not want to do not want to get all these crossbows crushed. That would be pretty bad. And in comes a big army from J.J. across the ford here. Hobbits probably shouldn't be in front though. They're going to be killed off fairly quickly before they get to do much of anything, which is unfortunate. It looks like J.J. Rambo made a potential mistake here, just walking his army, and they were just taking a lot of damage while not getting attacked, or not while attacking back. You get summon hobbits though, immediately using the Vile Galadriel. Good man. You see that does cause fear in the Isengard troops. And the hobbits will be doing some damage. Lurtz though in Carnage mode. He's level 2. He has got his Carnage. Although Isengard has lost a lot of men, he still has a more formidable army than the Dwarves here. Of course, the Creebane is not helping much. Actually, Dwarves still have a fair amount of guys. I mean, mostly Axors and Hobbits. But still, that will take a lot of lives from Isengard. Meanwhile, J.J. Rambo taking out some stuff up north. I apologize if you're not J.J. Rambo, but that's pretty, it looks just like J.J. Rambo's name. Just without the A-M-B-O, of course. He's even got the little caret sign on the back of the end of the name. So I think it's a safe assumption. And the last of the dwarves in the Isengard territory get cleaned up here. So the war champ's thrown down on them. Once Isengard gets their economy going... Oh, he's got devastation. That'll help out a lot. Yeah. It's hard to stop the economy from Isengard. Even if they have a few furnaces or whatever, they can run off industry and devastation and fuel the fires, of course. Of course, keeping their furnace count low does lower their army size count, as you might imagine, since that's where you get your command points from, but nonetheless, they do have things to supplement. These pikemen better get into position here. Ooh, the battle wagon's going to get a nice run through there. Great job by Rambo going for the flank, absolutely destroying those Urukai and getting out without taking much damage at all, in fact. Now that will leave Rambo be able to push in. Meanwhile, there are some troops pushing across the ford, mostly pikemen and a battalion of swordsmen, to do some damage to JJ's base. Take out some of his structures, of course. We'll have to deal with these Axors and Phalanxes, though. And an army coming out of the mine to help engage that. Rally call going down on those as well, and he should be able to clean up Isengard's troops, I think, fairly easily. Meanwhile, Rambo is pushing in to BraBox's base. Of course, he does have his alerts here, though, which will chase off these battle wagons. Of course, crossbows, as you see, not the greatest for countering the old battle wagons. You can take a huge run through there. They're doing very, very small amount of damage, and they're this is the worst. Battle wagons with things on them. Fortunately, he did actually run into some pikes. Barrage going down there, taking down one of the Uruk pits. One of them still stands, fortunately, for BraBox. It does have one here and one here as well, so nice thing he split up his barracks count so they wouldn't all get barraged in the same spot. That can be the downside of building your base all compact. Of course, late game powers like Barrage and Earthquake and such will really hit you very hard. It can actually end the game for you, so you do have to be careful when designing your base. Believe it or not. We have a Saruman out for BraBox. He's level 2. Apparently he's got a Wizard Blast off on somebody at some point. He has his Fireball and Wizard Blast ready to go once again. Nice micro from JJ though. Keeping the guy going around while throwing his axes. Although he is occasionally hitting the pikes, he's still alive at least. And you see the Axor on the battle wagon actually does decent damage to the buildings, as you would expect Axor too. If you were going for troop killing, of course you would want to go for a Men of Dale on the back. But those are better for structures, and they still attack units, so it's nice. This might have to be cleaned up here. Nothing JJ can do about that. Saruman will clean up that easily. Alert's leading the southern army against the dwarves here. He will be engaging very shortly. Pretty good game so far, gotta say. Too many lulls in the action, which is nice. Looks like BraBox choosing not to engage right here. Taking a few casualties though. Trying to retreat himself. Does he have many pikemen? I see only one pike here. Well, the battle wagon got stuck, but it did get a big crunch off on the guys. So it wasn't in vain, I would say. Did he actually kill anyone? Maybe he didn't actually kill anyone. I think he might have got stuck before he killed anybody. So I don't see any Isengard corpses. So nice play there, I guess. There is a single pikeman in here. Literally a single pikeman. Kind of funny. Maybe he stopped the battle wagon in his tracks by himself. I wonder if you put him in porcupine formation, would he still slow down enemy units if he was by himself? Probably. Oh, we got Dwarven Zealots. And Dwarves, of course. 2 battalions of them, in fact. Zealots are very strong. Definitely mini Gimlis, as I like to refer to them as, because that's essentially what they are. He's getting a 3rd battalion as well. Of course, you can have 3 battalions at once on the field, so that's only 3 battalions are allowed at once. Generally, that's how it is for most mini hero horde units. Not all, I believe, though. I don't think you can have 3 mini fire drake broods, though. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And I believe you can only have 1 battalion of Black Riders out in the field. Because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if you had more than 1 battalion of Black Riders out in the field. As there are only so many Nazgul. Not that Mordor needs any more than 1. They have so many good late game units that they don't need it so much. Looks like Isengard will claim this in potentially and clean up the mines down here. So BraBox will gain control of the south. Looks like some axe throwers moving in. There is freezing rain on the field. You can't see the actual rain animation, but you can definitely hear it. Of course, that is reducing enemy armor and damage, nullifying leadership for the dwarves. I don't think the dwarves have leadership though. I haven't seen a hero from the dwarves yet. So JJ potentially making a big mistake not getting a hero. I mean, he's gone for the mini hero hordes, which is not bad, but I mean, most people start with the Prince Brand usually. It's usually a good idea. Of course, Lurtz can own the hell out of a Prince Brand if he's not careful with the Cripple Strike and Berserk combo. Easily pinning him down and beating him to death before he has a chance to react. But still, I'd say like King Dane, Gloin, Gimli, always good choices. Pretty solid units all around. See the Zealots clean up these crossbows with ease. And it'll be victorious up there. He could push down this way and potentially take up structures there. Meanwhile, there is a battle wagon attacking BraBox's lumber mill. Actually didn't manage to finish it off though. He did kill the guys that worked there, at least. Well, at least some of them. This guy's still alive. Alive and unemployed, apparently. Looks like he's trying to get as much damage done as possible with his battle wagon. Potentially that might get killed off here. Unfortunately, BraBox has his Uruk-hai swordsman in the front, which really isn't helping things, because the pikemen are really what's going to do the damage. You could have get the pikemen in front instead. It would have been a little bit quicker, but that's just little nitpicking things, really. Now the Zealots are going up against some pikes and some crossbows. As you see, they'll still clean those up pretty easily. They don't take too much damage. Uruk-hai cleaning up the sword or the axe throwers here easily, especially since they have the freezing rain still on them. Isengard attacking the fortress of the dwarves here. JJ throwing up a tower. He's getting a few axe towers on his fort as well. It looks like BraBox decides to pull back a bit and destroy a bit more of the structure of the dwarves, which is a good call, I'd say. Probably need some siege weapons of some kind or something, but definitely I'd say Isengard at this point has control. So BraBox definitely in control of the game. The dwarves, of course, don't have a barracks anywhere, as far as I'm aware. He doesn't have the inn. He has this thing that can produce battle wagons, the forge works, of course, but battle wagons are only so useful and will not be able to stop this army here. Even though it does still have that single pikeman. If that pikeman could level up... Wait, he's level 5. Why is he not regenerating? That's a little weird. I guess he is, maybe. There's more than one there. Now this pretty much is the last of the Dwarven army, I think. Is J.J. rebuilding his Hall of Warriors? I would hope so. Yes, he is. So he'll try and get back into the game, but it might be a bit too late, I think. I think BraBox might have sealed the deal here. Potentially. Battle wagon, nice run through on the crossbows. Absolutely brutal. Leaving a trail of death as he goes through. And this is why you have to be super careful. You could easily lose your entire archer line to one battle wagon. And he even gets away after killing all those guys. Nasty, nasty business. And the troll even taking a few lives of the Isengard troops as well. Not happy about his situation. Yeah, BraBox losing a bit of momentum here. He does need to probably finish off the dwarves, I'd say. He has the power. Because the dwarves don't really have anything. All he really needs is a siege works. But as I, of course, notice in most games, people don't tend to build siege works early on. Which is very, very strange. I mean, this isn't really early on anymore. He's going for upgrades, though, which will help him out immensely. He's got the armor on his guys, as you see there. They're a little bit bronzy looking. I like the fact that the evil teams have the bronze armor look. Or at least Isengard does, instead of gold armor. But their Wildman troops don't have the bronze upgrade. They have gold armor upgrades, which is weird. Potentially, someone should change maybe them to have the bronze armor look of these guys. If that's possible. I think that would be a little better. Because I think the Wildman Axors with armor upgrades look ridiculous with their gold armor chest piece. It looks silly. That's just my opinion, though. At least they have the red forged blades. So I can't complain about that. As I have with other evil teams. So Golem is tracking the army. Yeah, he still has pretty good map control. The dwarves are trying to reclaim a lot of land here. Gain some lost ground. Building his mine shafts back once again, but of course the dwarves coming out with forged blades and heavy armor. Or the Isengard troops, I said dwarves. I might have. BraBox will have no trouble fending off this battle wagon, even if it does decide to engage, as it's not going to be able to do much of anything, really. Going for an attack on the base now. Dwarves do have a few battalions of units now, and as well as some hobbits summoned in. He hasn't used the vial yet. Well, might be a good time. There he goes. Very nice. He just has some zealots left. Thank goodness for that. That'll help him defend his base quite easily. I think Isengard didn't have enough strength there. It sounds like Lurtz was killed off as well by the zealots and the hobbits. And the dwarves will persevere. So that's unfortunate for BraBox. BraBox kind of let his chance to win slip away, I think. Not that he can't win now. I mean, he could have won earlier if he kept pressing the attack. When he ran away from right here, when he was at the fort, I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but he should have stayed around here and built a siege work somewhere and got a battering ram or potentially a ballista, something of that nature, while he had the advantage. Now some zealots are picking up some buildings in the bottom here. Up to level 6. Of course, these go up to level 10. Because they're like heroes, basically. And heroes go up to 10. Isengard's still in a good position to win the game, though. Don't get me wrong. BraBox is by no means going to lose anytime soon, I would imagine. Unless the dwarves do some giant attack on the base with an earthquake, which could potentially happen. I can't remember if it's Citadel or Earthquake. This is next to Barrage. I think it's Citadel. I'm not sure, as I never am. Too many patches, too many different power trees to remember for me, quite frankly. I'm doing Battle Familiar 2 1.06, Rise of the Witch King 2.02, Rise of the Witch King 2.01, Battle Familiar 1.08. They all have different structured power trees, it seems. Sometimes very minuscule differences, but they are different nonetheless. This Isengard's base is pretty safe. He's even got a mine launcher expansion, which is a pretty cool expansion. I do like those quite a bit. I don't use them very often myself. I don't play very often myself, but I mean, when I do, rarely will I build one. They can be great, especially for right here. If he tries to get an attack right here on this Uruk pit, this will fire mines at him and kill the units, which would be good. Nice little tactic there, I would feel. Dwarves continuing to pump out guys. He does have a full mine shaft of dwarves ready for battle. Also a few battalions on the field as well. And zealots continuing to run around destroying farms and infrastructure of Isengard. And the zealots are really helping because they're pretty quick and they take down furnaces pretty quickly as well, causing BraBox to lose a lot of farms. Let's take a look at economy. JJ's got 500 as BraBox has 700 as a max command point limit. And JJ's getting very close to a 25 point power. That could bring him right back into the game. Maybe what he needs. Also, another thing he might have needed is Men of Dale. I'd say some archers would definitely help him out here, as they got good range, pretty good damage. But of course he does have to have it upgraded archery range in order for that to happen. I guess it's Earthquake. Okay. Makes sense. Big Earthquake going down on BraBox's base. That devastating. He's getting rubble there. Fortunately for him, he didn't lose this. And it's actually going to upgrade to level 3 without being killed off. Hopefully that starts repairing for him soon, but it does have an arrow tower on it at least now. Isengard still got a pretty full army here. He's even got lumbermen in his army. I wonder if he realizes that. I think he took him from here. This is a curious place to build a lumber mill. Why would you build it there of all places? I have no answer for that. They'd have to walk all the way over to here to actually farm trees and then walk all the way back to deliver them. Very productive. I mean, or they could go up here, obviously. Or down here? Did he send them there? I have no idea. Dwarves pushing in once again. Isengard on the defensive. I think it's about time for Isengard to get fire arrows. Probably what he was working on. He will have probably soon enough. He did get his thing to level 3, so really the only reason to do that is to actually get fire arrows for your crossbows, as you would expect. But because he has his upgrades, he is outclassing the dwarves' power. Dwarves don't have any upgrades, I don't think. Nope. His siege works. Forge Works is still level 1. He has not purchased any powers from it, as far as I'm aware, because he didn't have another one to do it. So yeah, upgraded Isengard troops definitely going to be outclassing him. Oh wow, these actually got to the power. Zealous gain 50% damage and increased attack speed and movement. Look at him go. It's like Slayer for an entire battalion. Pretty awesome. Berserker gang. They will be picked off, unfortunately. But nice to see the unit leveled up all the way and get its power used. BraBox has some guys in the back of the dwarven base. Looks like he took out something. The mine shaft. Now he's going for a big attack here. Still no siege weapons though. I don't know what it is with players, but no siege weapons. He'd literally just need one battering ram and his army and he could win the game. But hey, what do I know? I suck at the game. I just don't understand it sometimes. He's had plenty of time to get himself a siege works as well. Could even go for a mine if you wanted to. Mines are always fun. Always a little bit tricky to get off sometimes, but usually worth it when it happens. When did Saruman die? I haven't seen Saruman for quite a while. I think he died and he hasn't replaced him. Potentially could have replaced him earlier as well. Or maybe he did and he's just taking so long to rebuild because patch 2.02. Yeah, potentially. Isengard's getting close to getting a 25 power himself. That will be pretty nice. Now the dwarves will be pushing in. If you discount the zealots, it's not too scary of a force. Isengard still has a lot of men on the field. Mostly crossbows, which will deal with most of that. As long as he's careful. And he's got the ability to pump out a lot of melee troops very quickly, and he's upgrading them very quickly as well. Yeah, BraBox is sitting on 2,500. He could either get himself Saruman back, or continue building more forces, of course. He does have to keep in mind his command point limit. Saruman's like what? A lot of command points. So, I think he's like 80 or something. So he does have to save enough for his army at least. Sometimes it's better to get a lot of troops than get a hero. I won't argue that at all. Down goes Frodo, down goes the majority of the Dwarven army. There's still some zealots here, deciding not to help. It's probably a smart idea, considering they would have just died. Dwarves do have a mineshaft here as well. BraBox will definitely want to clean these up. And we'll continue pushing on up here, expanding. I'm surprised no one's killed this cave troll yet. He's been alive most of the whole game already. It's not usual for a match. Down coming a barrage. Awful barrage. Actually killing his own battle wagon with his barrage and not hitting a single Isengard troop. Maybe that that banner carrier actually. But other than that, that was a terrible barrage. Could have been from delay. I'm not sure which person is hosting this. There is 2 matches of this. I will be casting both. They played a game. One of them was host on one, and then one was hosting the other. I believe they're the same teams as well. So we'll see what happens. I think BraBox is the host of this one, judging by the delay from that barrage. We do have a dragon there. By BraBox, which is doing a fair amount of damage. Trying to take down this leveled up hull warriors. That will be nice. That'll stop the zealot production. So you got both of them. That's the nice thing about the dragon. He actually has such a wide arc. He can take down multiple buildings at once. And that's the majority of the dwarves base cleaned up. You even got the siege works. Dwarves pushing in with the last of his forces. One last hope. Undermine being summoned in just to knock back the troops. There's actually no one in it though. And this looks like this will be a win for Isengard. Yeah, it's not ideal. He burned a few of his men with the dragon fire. Actually, the majority of his men got burned with the dragon fire. Possibly a bit of a mishap there. But he does still have some forces next to it. Also has alerts here and Carnage. He might take the fort down. Trying to reposition. Good call because these pikes gives it more time to actually hit. I think he might survive though. Rambo potentially will live. As dwarves, his rebuild is actually on cooldown. Turns out, I was gonna say you could get rebuild, but can't do that so much. Looks like Lurch is killed off by the zealots. We're in a level 2. There's another army for Isengard though. Didn't take out this tower here. So he just needs to keep up the troop production and he will overwhelm the dwarves easily. It would not take much to take down the fortress of J.J.R. here. And he does not have much for defense. He's really going to be relying on these arrow towers and a couple of a zealot battalion. Some phalanxes and some guardians. He doesn't even have a barracks to build troops from at this point. Oh, he does have one down here actually. J.J.R bringing his troops out right here in the south to engage. We do have freezing rain on the field though, which is of course negating a lot of the damage and armor that the dwarf troops have. Except for the zealots. Zealots are not affected by that because they're just like heroes. Heroes are not affected by freezing rain and leadership and all that kind of buffing stuff and debuffing stuff. And with the zealots chasing that army, he is free to move his secondary army around here. J.J.R putting up some wall hubs to try and help defend a little bit. Wall hubs are a great way to keep a part of the base defended because they're very tanky, and it forces them to like cram a unit in here to do damage, which really negates a lot of the damage he could potentially do. Because you won't have a full battalion hitting the fort, you'll have like a unit or two of a battalion hitting instead. Which really isn't going to do too much damage. Unless you let them sit there for a while. But still, Isengard has the troop numbers. I think he just cleaned up the last of the zealots as well. That's bad news. The zealots are really what's been keeping Rambo alive. We've got an Isengard army over here not doing much of anything. Potentially waiting to be sent in, getting upgraded. And now he'll just have to clean out this little outpost here the dwarves have put up. So the Hall of Warriors is down and the hobbits are dead. There should be zero hope for the dwarves. He has sent some guardians in to raid the base of BraBox, but I don't think it'll matter. It's a drop in a pond at this point. And of course it has the devastation, giving him lots and lots of money. Isengard almost has his second level 25 power. It'd be cool to see him finish off the dwarves with a dragon strike. I hope he actually does it that way. Don't mind that at all. Hopefully he goes around and destroys a few more mines before going for the fort. Dwarves actually rebuilding the base. Also summoning in Men of Dale to help out with the defense. This is definitely the last stand of the dwarves. He is definitely outnumbered and surrounded by all Isengard troops. Things are looking bleak. Very, very bleak. And he is at 25. I think it's time for that dragon strike. There it is. Will he use it? There it goes. Now that will fly in. Hopefully he doesn't burn his own men with it. Might even get these Men of Dale. That would be a nice pickup as well. If he keeps the Men of Dale too close to the fort, they will get burned. Once again, burning his own men though. These players are good at hitting their own men. But yeah, with the Dragon Strike, the army is dead. A lot of damage has been caused with the Dwarven base. But as you see, these wall hubs really doing what I said they would. You see the Dwarven base is actually, I think it's healing in fact. He's not able to get a nice surround there. And because there's an arrow tower on front, he actually gets a good amount of troops on the front. You can take these arrow towers down, or axe towers if you will, and then get a nice surround on the front. And this looks to be the end of J.J.R, I believe. There's so many Isengard troops on the field right now. And literally nothing to actually save him, except for these guardians. Who are being killed by a massive amount of crossbows. He's just leaving his crossbows in front of the Hall of Warriors. Giving absolutely no hope to anything that comes out of it. We'll go down very shortly here, and that should be the end of the game once this Hall of Warriors is cleaned up here. Alright. Not too bad of a game. Pretty nice game to watch at least. I think the Dwarves could have done some things better, but overall, I'd say Isengard played pretty well. I mean, both teams could have done some things better, obviously, but anyone could, really. There's always room for improvement for anyone, even the best. But, yeah, I think they did pretty well. Well played to both of them, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02. See you next time.